Another flight carrying migrants from Texas touches down in San Diego amid growing health concerns.
County health officials are working to contain a flu outbreak impacting migrants who've traveled here from a federal facility. News 8's Brandon Lewis joins us now live from Otay Mesa with details on this latest flight. Brandon?
Now, Carlo and Barbara Ling, this was the fourth flight in 4 days to touch down here in San Diego. Tonight, Border Patrol agents are processing more than 120 people in the building behind us. That includes a medical check for the flu. A seventh plane full of families caught entering the U.S. illegally in Texas touched down in San Diego. This is the fourth flight in 4 days. Border Patrol will process them locally under a new program to ease the backlog in the Rio Grande Valley. Most are from El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. Border Patrol says San Diego is capable of processing more people, so they're flying them here. Within 72 hours, the group is turned over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. If they want asylum, then they're released to a local shelter pending court appearances. But that doesn't mean they're staying here. Usually, they're sent to sponsors or families across the country within 2 days. Lately, some families are staying longer because of a flu outbreak. Border Patrol tells News 8 they don't let anyone board a flight if they're showing symptoms and say migrants are given a second screening after their bus to Borderfield Station. The county health department says some are showing symptoms once they reach county care.
We're particularly concerned about children and pregnant women who are more likely to develop complications from the flu.
As of Memorial Day, there are 3 new cases of influenza-like illness, bringing the total to 35. 14 people are quarantined at hotels. That's down from 24 Sunday.
Working to start to ramp up preventive treatment for everyone entering the shelter so we can ensure they're protected, and as they leave the shelter, they're not spreading the disease to others.
Meanwhile, county leaders continue calling on the federal government to pick up the tab for the care.
But the federal government should not be dumping its problems on San Diego County.
Border Patrol says they expect these flights to continue indefinitely. Meanwhile, the county says there is no danger to the public.